What is up? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful evening. Back with some more Resident Evil content for you. And this time I'm going to be talking about the other news. It wasn't just the demo news for the Capcom Spotlight. It was also a little information on Resident Evil Death Island. And this is obviously the new CGI movie, which I'll be the first one to admit. Until the last second of the original teaser trailer, I really had no care in the world of seeing this. But just seeing Jill and seeing Jill possibly being in the Resident Evil universe past Resident Evil 5, because this Death Island takes place after Resident Evil 5 and takes place after Resident Evil 6, so it's in 2015, I believe, so right before 7. It got me really excited because we haven't seen Jill since post Resident Evil 5. So they actually dropped some couple screenshots, and both of them include Jill, one with Jill and Chris, and the other with Jill and Leon, and obviously this is proof that the 1 second we saw wasn't a flashback. A lot of people are saying, well, she looks very similar to her Resident Evil 3 self. So obviously people are happy that, oh my god, Jill and Leon are for the first time ever going to meet each other, and that should be a cool iconic moment. But obviously one of the big things is that everyone's asking, well, how does Jill look so young? Why is it that Leon and Chris look older and Jill looks younger? Well, I can give you an explanation on this. Is if you go over, and I'll give you the link if you want to see it for yourself. If you go over to the Twitter page of Resident Evil Portal, they give finally a character overview of Jill, which is the following. Fought against bioterrorist attacks and stars alongside Chris. Her T-virus infection has slowed down her aging, but left some psychological scars. She rejoins her team after rehabilitation. So basically, I've heard a lot of people say that it's because of the T-virus that the reason why her aging is slowed down. Obviously, being another thing I've heard is her being in cryogenic sleep from Wesker from Resident Evil 5. That's another thing that helped play out too. So this isn't something. This isn't the first time I've ever heard this, but this is more, I guess, their reasoning. The actual Capcom people making the movie. So there's your reasoning. I also heard some people say, well, could they at least give her a different outfit? Why she looks so similar to Resident Evil 3? Well, that's real simple too. Resident Evil 3 is her most iconic look, is it not? So it only makes sense that they use a look that people recognize. Because I'll say this right now, I don't really care too much about looks and all, or looking young or whatnot. As long as I can recognize you, that's always a good thing. Because I think one of the biggest problems I have in today's world and a lot of other entertainment stuff is when they make characters and I don't even recognize them, and you say their name, I'm like, really, that's who that is? As long as I can recognize you, that's it. But ultimately, the biggest thing with this movie that I'm more curious about than anything else is, yes, you're going to have Jill, you're going to have her in the movie, it's not going to be a flashback, but can you use her right? Can you respect her right? She's a main character. She's not some random side character or just some pathetic person. I wonder how they're going to use the psychological scars from her past at Resident Evil 5 and how that's going to affect her, which could be some interesting storytelling. But I want her to be respected, right? I mean, it's Jill F. and Valentine. It's one of the main, most important characters of Resident Evil, and this should be a historic and iconic moment. It'd be cool to see how she interacts with Leon, as they're going to meet each other for the first time. Rookie Cop and Super Cop meet each other, but hopefully it'll be something good and not bad, but we'll have to wait till the movie comes out. But that is going to be it. Hopefully you did enjoy this video, and hopefully I can see you guys back on the next one. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you all later. Peace.